heroes, welcome back to another video. I'm Candice, and this channel is all about helping you defy the odds, build wealth, and think differently. Now today I am bringing on a very special guest who's coming here to chat about ways to make extra money. You know, whether you have a 9-to-5 or whether you have a 9-to-5 and you want to start a side hustle, or whether you just have a 9-to-5 and you're trying to find ways to make money within your career. So there is something for everyone in this video. So before I bring on Dorethia Kelly, I'm going to read her bio. Okay, so today's guest is an award-winning financial expert, Dorethia Kelly. She's a personal finance and business coach, author and CEO of Money Chat. She is also the CEO of Workspace Spark, which is a career growth and office decor subscription box. For her charismatic, no-nonsense personality, Dorethia empowers people to reach their financial, entrepreneurial, and career goals with her coaching, keynotes, and online courses. Dorethia helps corporate brands share their messages of financial empowerment as a writer, speaker, and media partner. Dorethia has also been a passionate community advocate for over 10 years. She is experienced in the various facets of nonprofit work, serves as a treasurer, and is involved with several large organizations in Detroit. Dorethia has been featured in various national media, including Black Enterprise Online and Print Magazine, U.S. News, U.S. Today, and Experian. You can connect with Dorethia Kelly online at dorethiakelly.com or workspacespark.com. Ooh, what a wonderful bio. So without further ado, let's bring on Dorethia Kelly. Welcome, Dorethia. I am so happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, and it's just been so exciting just seeing your journey and your growth. You know,
Thank you.
It's like I know you as a financial expert and a business coach, right? But I remember when you first posted about you wanted to start an office decor subscription box.
Yes.
Which is something that is completely different than what you are currently doing. So can you talk to us a little bit about, like, how did you even know the steps to take?
I didn't. It was completely foreign to me. It was something I didn't know how to do. I don't even think I ever worked in retail.
Wow.
So like I worked in foods. I think I worked at Burger King. I never even worked in retail in high school. So I didn't really understand retail. Mm-hmm. But as a business coach who hired coaches for my financial coaching and business coaching business, I knew enough to hire some people. And even at that, there were a lot of hurdles.
Okay.
I researched and did planning for a year and a half before I launched. I worked with several different coaches. So I had a brand person who helped me develop all the brand and the brand board for it and the logos and the graphics. And then she also had a subscription box. So she was able to give me her perspective from somebody who had done it and had closed hers. And then I had a couple of other people that helped me, one with like the whole affiliate piece, some of the marketing, and the one I'm working with that I've been working with for the past year is really helping me, really basically helped me wasting a lot of money. The direction that I was going. So this is a thing, entrepreneurs, that we have to be clear on. And this is why it is important to hire help, someone to walk with you hand in hand. I was doing all the reading, doing all the research, following the things that people in these groups and experts tell you to do. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until I started working with him one-on-one that he told me my business model. He said that within a year, you'll be out of money and you will not have the subscriptions that you're looking for. So I was so relieved and so grateful that before I even got out the gate, I had hired him because I thought I was on a good path.
Yeah.
I was doing what everybody was suggesting that you do, you know, pre-launch, launch this, do all this kind of thing. But sometimes you really need that inside track from somebody who did it, who was doing it, who scaled. Like, I mean, he had scaled, he's got like 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful. So I didn't know what to do, but I knew enough to get the help.
I love that part. There were so many great takeaways that you just shared. So first of all, you didn't just rush into it. You know, I think sometimes we think just because you have this business idea, you have to start like this week. So you took time to research.
Yes.
And to even find experts to work with you who already been through where you're trying to go.
Exactly. Because one thing for me that I noticed, and I learned to, in my business, I learned to look at why isn't there one? There is not an office decor subscription box. And the ones that had opened had failed. So I wanted to know the why. Why are they failing? Is the market not there? Is the money not there? What is it? So that was one thing that was important for me, and the research. And I am a person who does like to go like, let's go. But I had to step back and say, you're not going to launch until you're ready, because I had done it before. I had done launches when I wasn't ready, and I knew what I did it more than once.
Yeah.
So I had vowed to never do that again, and it panned out for me.
Love that. And can you talk a little bit about like the mindset shift that you had to have when it comes to like just wanting to start, a new business?
Yes. I often wonder about my mindset. I'm like, you could really just be sitting up somewhere chilling right now. What is your problem? But when you have it in you, you just have to live the dream, So the mindset, to me, what I find with entrepreneurs is we want, you're looking at someone, you might see them on TV, you might see all their social media, they're looking wonderful, they got their products or their services and they're getting accolades, but you don't see the work that went into that. So you want to jump there without the work. We speak to people who are trying to think what they need to do to get the right mindset, especially those who have day jobs.
Yes.
If you have a day job, I'm going to speak to both day jobs and those who are full-time. If you have a day job, you have to, and you got responsibilities, whether you have kids at home or whether you're single, you still got stuff you do when you get off of work, right? You have to ask yourself, how much time every day am I going to spend on my business? I'm not a fan of like the quick hits. I believe it takes about a good 2 hours to get in a good flow for work. So what time are you going to get up early before you have to start your day and work from 6 to 8 on your business? Are you going to do it in the evening? And you have to be strong enough so that you won't get distracted or knocked off your box when someone says, hey, we're meeting up, or hey, let's jump on this Zoom happy hour. You have to say, okay, I can't do that today. I have to do this. You have to stay focused. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the money. It takes money. I know everybody's saying that you can start a business with $0, and I'm sorry, you can't start something that's going to be sustainable. There are some anomalies, right? But you have to spend money in your business. Therefore, that's why it's important that you are managing your personal finances correctly, because trust me, it's going to be your money. So people don't want to take away from their living the life that they live to sacrifice to invest in the business mentally, time-wise, and financially. I think that's a whole mindset shift.
Yes, I love that. That is so true, because I think that so many times we see like those videos like how to start a business with just $0, and it's just like, well,
no.
Yeah, because like you said, you're going to need to invest in your business and even just invest in your knowledge and just like learning about how to even build this business successfully.
Exactly. Or you find yourself spinning your wheels, which I did. I will be honest, I've been at this for a while, probably over 15 years, something like that. The time is flowing here. But in the first few, like I would even say probably the first 5 years, I'm trying to do everything myself until I realized you can't do this. It won't be successful.
I heard that either you're paying with your time and just like keep making mistakes and time is going by, or you're paying with your money so you can speed up your process of learning.
Exactly. And that's not to say if you're like, well, I'm just really trying to make it. That's not to say you create a plan and you start somewhere. You start putting money away for your business. So don't think that, if you're like, well, money's kind of tight right now, don't think you can't get started. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you need to have a plan to be able to invest. And you can start a little bit at a time, $100. $500. Just start, every month. It's not like you got to drop down a ton of money right now for the whole year. Think about your monthly, what you need to spend at least to get started.
I love that. And I also love how you mentioned you have to be good with your personal finances if you're
Yes.
trying to run a business. Because now
Yes.
it's like, if you're not good at managing, your own personal, like, how are you going to try to manage a company too?
Exactly. Exactly. It's not going to work, because here's what people think. They think, oh, I'll give that to my accountant. I know how everything in my business runs, from the money to the
Hmm.
marketing to everything. I don't have to do it to know how it gets done. And if you don't understand it, people can do anything with your stuff.
That's true.
You won't know.
That is very true. And another point you were saying before was that sometimes, like, if we're a person who's, maybe you do have this 9 to 5 and you have this business idea that you want to create, and then you're seeing other people living this dream that you want to live, right? And it seems all glamorous. You're seeing them speaking, you're seeing the beautiful social media photos, but
Yeah.
you don't know all the work that goes in it behind the scenes.
That's right. That's right. You don't. And it's a lot of work. I mean, I'm here to tell you, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of moving pieces. There are people, when you start hiring people part-time, there's a lot of things to put in place. That's why it's important to start organized from the beginning.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the business owner who wants to create, their side business. And sometimes I even think that it's the easiest business to kind of start on the side is kind of using the skills that you have from your 9 to 5 sometimes. Like, that's, for me, that's
Yeah.
something that I did. But I know not everyone wants to do that. Build like a skills-based business. So, like, I want to start
Right.
from scratch. I want to start anew. So for you, like, how did you even decide which path that you wanted to take?
Well, with my financial coaching business, that was born out of the fact that I was a single mother. I had 2 girls, and I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck. So
Okay.
when I started learning how to manage my money, I was like, oh, everybody's got to know how to do this. So for me, it was a no-brainer. It's like, oh, I'm going to help my community. I'm going to teach everybody how to do this.
Okay.
And then I realized I could turn it into a business. And I was always entrepreneurial minded. I sold candles. I made jewelry. I've done everything. I clean houses.
Nice.
In office buildings. So I had it in me, honestly. I knew. But for people who are like, I don't know what to do, I could, and they may not want to. Now, this is what I say, because I have had to tell people who have certain skills, like, listen, I know you don't want to start there. You don't have to end there, but this is the low-hanging fruit. Like, this is, this is what you know how to do. So, like, for instance, we all know Upwork, Fiverr, all that good stuff. And being a virtual assistant is like one of the easiest, quickest ways, in my opinion, to get started. Yeah. And you don't have to be, a lot of times people hear virtual assistant, they're like, oh, I'm taking calls and taking notes. Not necessarily. You can do research. If all you want to do is research for people, if you're a master researcher, like, we all need people to do research.
True.
How much research I had to do on the subscription box industry and the retail industry, that, I had to ask other people to pull articles and things for me. So you could do that, set up a profile on Upwork or Fiverr. You could do research. I hired someone. I am a Microsoft Excel whiz. I love data. I do all that. But guess what? I didn't have time. So I hired somebody to help me with the back end data of my customers and subscribers. Okay. And she whipped up a thing for me and pulled it together. So you put that out there. Are you an Excel whiz? Look, if you're a PowerPoint whiz, there's so many people who cannot put it together, a PowerPoint presentation.
That's true.
So you could just do all PowerPoints. There's so many different things that you can do that is skills based, even though you may not like it because it feels like you just left your day job to now you're doing an extension of it. It's an easy, quick way to make money.
Yeah.
But, if, let's say you're like, nope, not doing that. I don't want to do that. Then you can take a cheap class at the community college for like 4 weeks and learn a skill. Like, you could do web design, you could do graphic design is one, and Canva makes graphic design so easy now. You just have to have a good eye for color, that kind of thing. People need graphics all the time. Social media is popping. Everybody needs some social media graphics. You can take a class that will teach you a skill that you can make money off of it. And maybe you spent $200.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, graphic design is definitely like one of the skills that I use to make money
Definitely.
at the Latham
You're great
Agency.
at it. I love
Oh,
your
thank
stuff.
you. But I just think that I love how sometimes we think that just because we're starting this business, this has to be the business that we have forever. You know, it's like, I don't want to build this business for 20, 30 years. It's like, you don't have to think that way. You could just start it right now, get the skills, learn even just how to even run a business. Like that's just skills in itself. And then if you feel like you need to pivot, you can pivot.
Absolutely. Make the money now.
Yeah.
Like right now. And what's in demand now? I'm gonna tell you, I spoke to a group of youth yesterday. We did our little Zoom meeting, and one of the guys was like, well, I used to cut hair. And now I can't cut hair. And I was like, well, you know the right kind of clippers to use. You know the right kind of spray to clean your clippers. Why don't you start teaching people how to cut hair and just use yourself as the model, since you can't bring anybody in? He was like, oh, well, people will pay you $10, $15. You do it on Zoom or YouTube or whatever. And he was like, oh, that's a good idea. So that's the other thing. Like, what do you know how to do? As I have always gone to tutoring as far as a go-to for making extra money. What do you know how to do? And I'm not just talking about educational, of course, math and science and English, you can make a lot of money tutoring in those subjects. But what about the arts? Do you know how to sing? Do you know how to read music? Sure, people can Google, they can YouTube, but there's nothing like having a person, a vocal coach right there on Zoom, helping you work your stuff out, showing you how to read music, showing you how to play the piano.
Yes.
Anything like that.
I love that. Yeah, there's just so many different ways on how you can make money. Okay,
there
I know
is.
so far we talked about like the person who has maybe a 9-to-5, they want to have a business on the side, or maybe they want to do this full time. But what about the person that, you know, they're at this career and they're like, I don't want to start a side hustle. Like, how can I just make more money in this career that I'm in?
Well, the truth is, so the way to make more money in your career is to, when you switch jobs, you can generally get a 20% increase. So I hear from a lot of people who stayed in a job for 20 years. And remember, you might get a little bump up, you might get a promotion, but you're getting those 3, maybe 5% increases every year. That's not really taking you that far. So I tell people that every 2 years, they need to be looking for either a promotion or a new position so that they can get those bumps up. But here's the thing. Now, this is all a caveat, because there are some things about a job that outweigh the money, right? Sometimes. So if you're in a position and it gives you great flexibility to do all the personal things you need to do and to work, you have to think about that kind of stuff. And then you will have to get a side job or something to make extra money, because the personal and the work-life balance that you have outweighs what you're looking for as far as financially. But so the first thing is about getting the first thing is about your career path and your career growth, and really having a plan for your career, which is part of the career growth part of Workspace Spark. I saw that when I was speaking to corporations and speaking to civic groups, and I do a career and money piece. Everybody wants to make more money, but there's a disconnect with how you show up at work and how you're delivering and why you're not making that money. So number one, always make sure that you're on point, that you're delivering with excellence, that you don't get caught up in the office cattiness, because you do build a reputation and a brand at work. And if you're trying to grow at work, you want your brand to be A1. When people think of you, and they don't have to like you to respect you, people will pull you on their team that may not personally like you that much, but they know that you get the job done. So that's some ways. But I also want to touch on, if there's overtime offered, definitely take the overtime. Like, I think that's one thing. It's like, I want to make more money, but do I want to work more hours? It's like, you gotta make a decision here. Like, pick one. Okay, you got to make more money. You gotta work more hours. I mean, that's just what it is. And then there are some fields like medical coders. My background is healthcare finance project and all that good stuff. So medical coders, if you're working a day job as a medical coder, there's some other medical professions where you can get a job, or you can work more overtime at your job, or you can get a job where you're doing that at home as well. So it depends on your industry. There are any number of ways that you can make money in your current career.
Mm-hmm.
If you're at a place where they're like, there's no overtime, there's nothing extra you can do, and there's no promotions or anything like that, you really have to get a second job. That just essentially, it just is what it is.
No, I think that's true. I love how you said you basically have to figure out, what do you want? What are you looking for out of this company? Like, is it the flexibility is important to you? Is it, more vacation days? Is it, do they have, overtime?
Yeah.
I think that's an important question to identify. Like, do I have to work weekends? Like, for me, if I'm looking for a career, like, I don't want to work on the weekends. Like, that's something that's important to me.
Right. No, I don't even want to work on the on and off weekends like nurses do. I'm like, God bless everybody in the medical profession. Oh my God, big hug to y'all, because they are some working people.
Yes, I agree. And what you said was so true about, switching jobs every 2 years. There was an article on Forbes that recently came out that said that employees who stay in their companies longer than 2 years get paid 50% less. And I just can't believe that.
Well, because they're not getting that bump up. Remember, when you leave a company, you have such negotiating power around your salary. You're new, they're excited about you, and they're willing to pay you if you negotiate.
Oof, that negotiating part is important. I remember the second job after I got out of college, like, I was still new and I was afraid to even ask for more money. Like, they're like, we'll start you off at this. And I had been searching so long that I was just happy to have something. I'm like, okay, I'll take it, right? But I should have negotiated because the lower you start, the longer it's going to take you to grow.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing. Like, they offered me more money than I had even thought about. Part of it's because we didn't know to talk to somebody to understand how this all worked. So when you go from making $14 an hour to $20 an hour, you're like, this is the most money I've ever made. And you've messed up when the lady tried to prod me because it was like $19 an hour, $40,000 a year. I thought I was doing something. And she's like, are you sure you don't have any questions? Like, girl, you need to ask for more money. But she couldn't say that. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm straight. This is wonderful. Called my friends like, girl, got me a real job.
Yeah, I know. You just be excited to have something. Just because where you come from, maybe that is a big deal. But then that's why the people in your circle are important, because they can be like, no, girl, that's not a good deal. You need to ask for more money. You have the two different friends. Right. You got the friends that are like, yeah, girl, that's awesome. Then you got the friends like, no, ask for more.
Yeah. I learned. I never did that again. I learned my lesson.
That's great. No, this has been such a great conversation. I feel like we learned so many different tips, whether we're an entrepreneur, whether we want to be, an entrepreneur, whether we just want to stay within our careers. We learned just so many ways on how we can make extra money. So how can the people keep up with you and what you're doing?
Definitely. So please follow me. I am at Dorethia Kelly, DORETHIA, Kelly, KELLY, on all social media. Please visit DorotheaKelly.com and definitely visit WorkspaceSpark.com. Please just check it out, share it. It is really going so well. This has been so wonderful to talk with you, Candice. I'm so excited about everything that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm excited about everything that you have going on. Like I said, I just remember when it was just an idea, and now you've come this far where you're actually delivering orders, delivering boxes to people every month.
Look, I can't even celebrate. I'm like, I want to have a party. I deserve a party. Okay, it's been some hard work.
You did some hard work. You did your market research. You talked to the experts. You hired the experts. You had the marketing, the branding people. Yeah, you talk to people that, they didn't make it work. What do they wish they should have done better? Like, there's just so many different lessons that people can take out of this video. So I just want to thank you again for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, I will talk to you later.
Okay, darling. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to that video. I would just want to thank Dorethia Kelly for being here today and dropping so many gems and so much knowledge with us today. And I really hope that you were able to take away something from this interview. If you want to keep up with Dorethia Kelly, you guys can check her out at DorethiaKelly.com, or you can also check out her Workspace Spark brand at WorkspaceSpark.com. Enjoy this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and you hit that subscribe button. And if you're not already on my email list, I would love to have you, so make sure you sign up in the description box below. But until next time, guys, I'm Candice Latham, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye bye, guys.